So since I sadly can't bring the footage back, I hope the upcoming montage will help out a little bit to fill in the gap. Cheers. Even though it was over time for me to leave and get the journey going, leaving California has never really been easy. But to actually leave California for good, I had to get to LA first, since my plane took off from there. Once at LAX, I wasn't able to check in since my smartass only booked a one-way flight to Peru, but luckily I was there way ahead of schedule, booked another ticket, and thanks to me being German, I managed not to miss the same flight twice in a row, which would have been kind of embarrassing. Yeah. Anyways, now that my plane took off, there should have actually been a surprise of me landing in Florida instead of Peru, but well, great job losing the footage, Claudius. Great job. Yeah, I know. Thanks. So there was only this one picture I still have from my 11-hour stopover that I tried to take full advantage of, I swear. So here's a quick summary of what happened.
We had 2 bags of grass, 75 pellets of mescaline, 5 sheets of high-powered blotter acid, a salt shaker half full of cocaine, a whole galaxy of multicolored uppers, downers, screamers, laughers, also a quarter tequila, quarter rum, case of beer, pint of raw ether, 2 dozen amyls. Not that we needed all that for the trip, but once you get locked into a serious drug collection, the tendency is to push it as far as you can. The only thing that really worried me was the ether. There is nothing in the world more helpless and irresponsible and depraved than a man in the depths of an ether binge. And I knew we'd get into that rotten stuff pretty soon.
Anyways, almost missed my connecting flight because I was way too drunk. Then headed straight to Peru, and now here we are, off to a short stay of 2 days, driving to a hostel somewhere in Lima. After some well-needed rest, I teamed up with my Brazilian roommate to check the city out a bit. And I got to be honest, I had no idea what the hell I was doing in Lima. But I knew for a fact I had to try out their beer. And thanks to the taxi driver, we ended up in this shitty touristy place where they also sold beer. And once they do that, it's kinda hard to leave.
Wow, that's a good one. Really good beer.
The more Peru we tasted, the more local we felt, and that's why we drove to Mexico.
Let's go to Mexico.
Where we had the exact same beer but in a completely different place. Walking around town wasn't all too special, except for this one place.
That looks pretty nice, right?
It looked nice, but not as nice as the beer we're about to drink right after. But that just made us thirsty for more, so we drove back to Canada, where we did some shopping so we could start off the night. Back at the hostel, the beer was meant to be finished, and we did that in good company and without any gimmicks.
So yeah, so far we drank about 6 beers, and now we're gonna go out to a bar, because we want to get drunk around the world, so we have to get drunk at Lima as well. So we're trying the best to make that happen.
And to make that happen, we went out Peruvian style, which means to start with a huge lot of cristal that puts you right in the mode. Super hangover. Like, you know those times when you just feel like your body does not have any energy? Fucking hangover, dude. Alright guys, so this is the first time that I'm actually alone here in my room in the hostel. I have like 12 beds here and I'm the only one. Time to sum up something that happened. Coming to a third world country, first time in your life, is pretty shocking, of course. And I knew nobody will speak English, but actually really nobody speaks English. Just tourists and very few people, so that's pretty tough. Yeah, yesterday went out, you know, it was pretty good that I went out with this Brazilian guy who knew a little bit how to speak Spanish. So yeah, people were actually really friendly when I was out yesterday night. Yeah, we went out to a bar, got actually really drunk. I'm super hangover now, because I didn't eat too much. I just drank water to get a cure of the hangover, took a shower and all that stuff, but I actually just really need some food, and the walk to the store will be really tough actually, but get the level on again because I'm feeling super exhausted. I hate that. I really hate that. So good. You feel the energy coming back. I love it. And since the energy was back, there was no excuse to refuse a few beer at the hostel that night. The next morning I finally had to leave the world's ugliest city for good.
There's no taxi that wants to stop. All the time they just want you to go in, but now there's no coming that wants to pick me up. No thanks.
But before I arrived in Cusco, I had to survive a 25-hour bus ride first, and I mean that literally. And my seat choice didn't really help with that.
So I'm very front of the bus. This bus ride will be amazing.
I think I've never been so wrong in my life.
You get this seat and you finally sleep.
Yeah, right. Sleep. Jesus. So this was my first time on the road in a third world country for more than 15 minutes. And I do gotta say, the bus driver was a total maniac who almost crashed the bus 4 times. Which maybe no one really noticed, but thanks to my amazing seat, hell just became reality. So on this bus ride I traveled over 1,000 kilometers through Peru, and I was just completely shocked by this incredible huge amount of poverty I saw along the way. Broke down houses, empty billboards and trash everywhere make the whole scenery appear like some forgotten land with no soul. And I know this has only been on a bus ride in such a small corner of the world, but you know, statements like half of the world's population is living on less than $2.50 a day sound so much worse when you've actually seen it in real life. And it's absolutely sad and horrifying. When the sun went down, the real nightmares just began. And I don't want to overreact or dramatize how scary this ride was, but it didn't really help while driving up and down the mountain, seeing crosses next to the road every 30 minutes for 6 hours straight from people that just didn't brake in time. And seriously, I didn't see much more than the camera recorded, but remember, in the front row on top of the bus, you're always sitting in front of the wheels, which didn't really help at all. But after going through hell, once the sun came up and we left the scary road behind us, we were rewarded with an absolutely beautiful scenery, which was too good to be true. And at this point I knew I arrived in Peru.
Can you be like, it's a video? And can you say, hola Claudio, welcome to Peru? Yeah?
Yeah.
At tres, okay? 1, 2, 3.
Hola Claudio, welcome in Peru.
Again, we go again. Okay. Uno, dos, tres.
Hola Claudio, welcome to Peru.